Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. One of my viewers sent me a link to a news report about a Dr. Jonathan Farley who says that he got scammed for over $50,000 as a result of getting involved with a Russian mail-order bride. And this Dr. Farley is looking for the government to get involved. However, I don't see much that the government can do for your Dr. Jonathan Farley, because your Dr. Jonathan Farley is a textbook case of a simp. And as a result of him being a textbook case of a simp, the only way that this man is going to get any sort of solution to his problems is to learn how to stop being a simp. Because when I take a critical examination of your Dr. Jonathan Farley, he is a textbook case of the type of simp I talk about in my ebook, The Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho. And in that ebook, I talk about how this type of simp is oftentimes an extremely inexperienced man, and this extremely inexperienced man, as related to dating and social situations, is oftentimes looking for the easiest opportunity to get the attention of women, and oftentimes looking for the easiest opportunity to get sex from those women. And because he's looking for extremely easy opportunities to get sex and attention from women, this is why he would be attracted to something like this Russian mail order bride site. And the reason why this man said he wanted to get involved with this Russian mail order bride was because when it came down to this Russian mail order bride, the statistics were in his favor, because in Russia, women outnumber men 10 to 1, and this black mathematician thought he would actually increase his chances at getting involved with a white female if he got involved with women on this Russian mail order bride site. So this dude thought he was going to increase his chances at getting a white woman by going online dating with this Russian mail order bride. And again, this is because this man had extremely poor self-confidence, he had extremely poor life skills, and he didn't want to deal with rejection or any of these situations where he's going to have to actually participate in social conversations with a woman in the real world. He wanted an easy opportunity at a relationship with a woman, and he wanted an easy opportunity at getting sex out of women. And he thought he could create a covert contract where he could be the savior who saved the Russian bride by giving her a wonderful life here in America. Again, when I look at this Dr. Jonathan Farley, I see a textbook case of a Captain Save-'Em, and I see his Ben Cooper cape and his Mickey Mouse galoshes, and him playing the superhero, looking to be the savior to this Russian bride. And unfortunately, he didn't become the savior of this Russian bride, because this Russian woman saw him 5 miles away. Because when it comes down to many of these Russian mail order brides, they oftentimes see Negroes like this Dr. Jonathan Farley 5 miles away, because they know that this man has extremely poor social skills, and they know that this man is extremely naive. Because when it comes down to these Captain Save-'Ems, they are extremely naive as related to the dating scene. They are extremely naive as related to relationships, and they are extremely naive as it relates to social interactions with women. And because these men cannot pick up on things like nonverbal cues such as body language, facial expressions, or even demeanors, or even things such as scent, this man cannot figure out that this woman just isn't into him and is just feigning interest so that she can see what type of resources she can get out of this guy. But your Dr. Jonathan Farley, he was so caught up in his emotions about getting the attention of this woman that he couldn't think critically about the situation he was getting himself involved in. He was just thinking he was going to get an easy opportunity at the attention of this woman, the easy opportunity at sex with this woman, and what he didn't understand was that this female was sizing him up, setting him up, and getting ready to go in for the kill. Because what she wanted to do was play on his emotions and get him to think everything was going well. And then, as a result, he travels, goes back and forth with her, and then eventually marries her, and then brings her to America, and she starts running up bills going shopping. And this simp doesn't really understand what he set himself up for, because when it comes down to Russian mail order brides, they are looking for a payday at a naive simp's expense. And this simp thought, oh, he was just going to come in and he was just going to have a woman as a result of him going on this online dating and then marrying this woman. But he didn't see that this was not going to be him being the savior of a woman who would be so grateful to get him sex. No, she was coming in so that she could get paid at his expense. And this dude thought, oh, things were bad because he just got taken for 50 grand. But what he didn't understand was he got off extremely light. Him getting taken for a couple of shopping trips at Bed Bath & Beyond, that was nothing compared to what a lot of guys do when they get involved with these mail order brides who go out here and get babies for these dudes, and they're stuck on child support for the next 18 years. So he really dodged a bullet as a result of him being able to actually look at the game and finally figure out he was being played early, because it could have got worse. He could have impregnated this woman, and she could have really cleaned him out for a good 18 years. But the most humiliating thing to happen to this simp was after he had started these divorce proceedings and stuff, this female wound up taking everything out of his home. Now, this was something I talked about in The Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho in one chapter, where I talked about why you don't make your home a safe haven for hoes. Because what will happen is, like I talked about in the book, the female, once you leave for the day, she's going to come in and clean your whole house out. And what happened to your Dr. Jonathan Farley was he made his home a safe haven for this hoe, and she cleaned his apartment out. And I told people in Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho, this can happen to you, because when it comes down to these females, they value your stuff more than you, and they're looking to get that payday at your expense. And this is a hard lesson that this Dr. Jonathan Farley is going to have to learn, a lesson that he should have learned a long time ago, but it seems like nobody taught him. And that's what's sad about this whole situation is you have this extremely well-educated man with a doctorate in mathematics. Unfortunately, he didn't understand the numbers as related to the game related to women. And because he did not understand the numbers as related to the game and related to women, this is why he wound up losing at that game, because he didn't understand that when it comes down to dating and relationships, nothing is ever easy, and oftentimes the easy way often leads to a man having a hard time. Now, the only way to go out here and have relationships with women is for you to learn those natural male life skills and male survival skills. And the guys who can learn those skills, they don't need to use things like online dating. Oftentimes, guys are just themselves, and because they are chill and cool with themselves, the women come to them. And the reason why the women come to them is because they see a man who is confident in who he is, a man who is relaxed in who he is, and a man who is secure in who he is. And because they see that man being confident, strong, and relaxed and having masculine energy, that is what attracts women to you. And those women who are seeing you go out here and build something, they're going to want to be the partner to you. And this is something that Dr. Jonathan Farley didn't really understand about relationships, because he was looking to find a woman who would be somebody he could go out here and fix. So he thought he would get this Russian bride, and the probability of him having to have a woman he could fix would increase. But in actuality, he wound up getting in a situation that where he wound up getting fixed out of 50 grand. And again, that may seem like a lot of money on the surface, but compared to the lesson he learned, I say he got off very easy, because losing 50 grand in stuff is nothing compared to what a lot of these other guys lose when they get involved with predatory women. Because when it comes down to many of these guys who get involved with predatory women, in some cases they get stuck on the child support bill for the next 18 years, and others wind up dead, because oftentimes when it comes down to these predatory women oftentimes have side dudes, and they're telling these side dudes stories about you. And the whole thing is, they want to use the side dude to kill you, so that they can get you out of the way, so that they can go get with another dude who they see 5 miles away, another fat, juicy simp who they can go out here and use to get resources out of. And they'll use that guy, use your death to get the money from your death to go and monkey branch to another guy. And this is, again, something that this Dr. Jonathan Farley is going to learn a hard lesson on. And again, a lot of guys, they avoid learning that hard lesson because they have fathers in their lives, and they have men who are out here who have that knowledge and share it with them. The same way I go out of my way to share that knowledge with men in books like Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho, a book that many men have learned from, and many men have said that have saved their lives. And I wish that I could have gotten a copy of this ebook to Dr. Jonathan Farley, because had he gotten a copy of that ebook, he probably would have only just spent $2.99 on that ebook, and that would have saved him over $50,000 and a whole lot of grief out of his life. If you want to learn how to deal with predatory women and the behaviors that predatory women participate in, then you can need to pick up my ebook, Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho, on Amazon.com. In that book, I identify the behaviors of simps like your Dr. Jonathan Farley, and I also break down all of the behaviors of predatory females like Russian mail-order brides and other predatory females who look to take advantage of unsuspecting men who think that they're going to get an easy deal but wind up with a completely hard time. You can get that ebook on Amazon.com, and you can also get it on Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, and the iBookstore. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Esteemed Goddess of. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a demonic dominatrix in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Get Esteemed Goddess of in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.